I want to talk about Starbucks, as I used to be an employee over there. And honestly, when it comes to Starbucks itself, I noticed that I'm not the only person being affected by this. Other people that I don't know in real life have been affected with like low wages and poor work environments, which I've went through. It's that kind of stuff. And I want to talk about it because I've been like feeling a bit depressed for the past 6 months, and I've been like really tired, depressed, and alone because of them, as I worked a job. And whenever I work a job from them, the fact that whenever I be there for them and arrive on time for them, they get to like use me in a way where they take all the credit for themselves and they leave me behind with nothing. And I just do not understand why would they do that in the first place. Because it's really insane. When you work a job, you expect the job to be there for you, even when you're there for it. And whenever they actually do themselves a favor of like taking advantage of you and using you, leaving you behind with very little, that really sucks a lot. And because of them, I took money out of my savings account to get by because of them. I survived off of very little because of them itself. And last year, it was the worst year of my life. And I'm having a hard time getting my life together because of this job, because it was the worst job I have ever worked for. I hated it for the fact that I went through this and went through that, and I did all this for all of them, and they actually took all the credit for themselves, and they got away by themselves wherever they could, whilst leaving me with very little money and leaving me to fend for myself. And whenever on November, I had a message from Laura Canizaro. She said to me, "Hey Jawad, it's been like nearly a month since you haven't come to work. Would you like to come?" And the reason why I haven't come to work is because I wasn't on the rota. They didn't put me on the rota. They took me off the rota for basically nearly a month. And the fact that they said this to me, "You haven't come to work," clearly shows that they don't even care about me. They never even cared about what I went through. So for them to say to me that I haven't come to work, instead of them telling me that I wasn't on the rota, and they did this and do that, and they blame me for the training I haven't done. It's disgusting. Laura, you never in your entire life feel sorry for me, okay? Every single day of my life, I feel so scared of approaching another job because of you, all right? Every day of my life, I feel scared approaching another job. A job where I can be able to get my life together, a job where I can be able to be there for someone, a job where people can be there for me, working as a team. This was never a job. This itself was survival. I was surviving for very little. And the reason why, because I got paid £1,600 last year. £1,600 I got paid in a year. £919.17 I got paid between January to July. £919.17. That's how much I got paid from them in like 6 months. And the fact that they blame me for not coming to work and not doing the training is just disgusting. I did my job. I've helped them out. I've arrived on time for all of them just to make sure the job is done. And what do I get in the end? All I get was a badge. I get my apron stolen. I get pushed around. I get treated like shit. I get no respect. When I show them respect, they never show me respect for me. Whenever I had a fucking breakdown, whenever I had a mental breakdown, they blame me for like not taking the job offer that they gave me. When FaZe gave me a job offer, I didn't want that. I want to get my life together. And I told him this before. I'm doing this for nothing. And I was right. Again, I was doing this for nothing before then. It just doesn't even make any sense. These people that I used to work for were so out of touch with reality. Laura Cannizzaro was so out of touch with reality that she stole my apron, made my work environment really hard, and she said, "You don't, no apron, don't come to work." When you stole my fucking apron, I have every fucking right to be angry. Alright? You stole my fucking apron like that? How fucking dare you? And I have every fucking right to be angry because this is disgusting. People should understand that when employees come to work and do the job and be there for everyone, including the customers, they have every fucking right to be angry. But Laura, on the other hand, she thinks she can actually be the victim here. You're not a victim, Laura. You're a narcissistic douchebag. You never care about those out there who has been there for you. Alright? You only care about yourself. That's the truth itself, by the way. When I arrived on time, helping you out with the job and doing this and doing that, what do I get in the end? I get a badge, I get my salary go down, I get treated like shit, I don't get appreciated for my work, I get called to work, even when I'm not on the rota. This kind of work environment, this kind of work structure is unsustainable and very inefficient. Employees are employees. They're human beings. They deserve respect. They deserve dignity. They deserve kindness for the work they put in, for the effort they put in. And what happens when Laura's in charge? She treats them like shit. She treats them like fucking cattle. That's what she did to me. And she does it to other people out there. It's fucking disgusting. And you know what really pisses me off? Whenever I was struggling, and whenever I was really tired and depressed and sad, whenever it was November, I got paid £90. The fact that Laura never gave a shit about me, she never gave me a warning, she never gave me this and gave me that. She kicked me off the WhatsApp group, where she never gave me a warning, by the way. It was on a Monday, on November last year. And in my opinion, that is the most ineffective way of terminating someone. You're supposed to warn them. Warn them. Tell them that you're going to be fired if you don't do as they say. Thing is, I've done what you told me to do. I've been there on time for you. I arrived on time for you. I had to be there for you. And I arrived in the cold for you, in the rain. Where were you when I needed you? Nowhere. You were never there for me. You never feel sorry for me. You never cared about what I was going through. I arrived in the cold for you. I arrived in the cold weather. I arrived walking to the bus station for you. And I had to take a taxi because the bus wasn't coming. And I had to hurry up. And I was there for you. On time for you. And you were never there for me, Laura Cannizzaro. You were never there for me. And really pisses me off that whenever I work hard and do my job and help people out, the fact that the people that I used to work for gets to go on holiday, whilst I had a hard time affording groceries, had a hard time taking care of my family, I had a hard time taking care of people close to me, whilst they get to go on holiday, literally pisses me off. You are not a leader. You were never a leader. You were never a competent director. You were never a great supervisor. You're a joke. You are an absolute joke. You know that? I have every fucking right to be angry because I busted my ass off to get somewhere. And those 3 years of my life, I will never get them back because of you. I try to move on from everything. But the fact that there are people out there who pushes people around, treat them like shit, and they pay them very little, whilst others out there get to go on holiday and get so disconnected from reality, literally pisses me off. So I have every fucking right to be angry. And if something bad happens to me, then that's fucking fine. I have every fucking right to be angry. Alright? I try to be a good person. I try to do my job. I have been trying to use the till to be there for the customers, but no one was there to help me out with it. I had to do it all by myself because no one's going to be there for me. No one's going to help me out with it, so I had to do it by myself. And that's what it is, you blame me for like, hey, you're losing money and stuff. Instead of teaching me and guiding me, directing me to do my job properly, you decide to blame me for the issues you caused to yourself. I tried to do my job properly. I tried to be there on time for you and help you out. But no one's going to help me out with the direction and stuff. I've done my job. I help people out. I listened for the customers. And I get treated like shit. I get my salary go down. I get to sacrifice my holiday. I get to sacrifice the nutritious food I needed for my body. I had to sacrifice all those things. But they get to survive. They get to live. They get to enjoy themselves. That itself is a fucking joke. And this should be very illegal. Why the hell is everything here legal? Why is it legal? Why are they allowed to walk scot-free, enjoying their own lives on a holiday at the beach, enjoying themselves, whilst people like me who work a job, who arrive in time, be there for them, get to survive with very little? I have no clue. No clue. Okay? I just do not understand why any of this is legal. The year is 2025, people have been pushed around, treated like garbage, and the fact that people are there, the employees, they're getting like very undervalued, but the supervisor and the manager, they get to be respected, but the employees who did the job well and did a really good, wonderful job being there for the customers and for the people out there, they get undervalued. But people like me, who work a job, I get undervalued, but the people out there who are like in charge of everything, you're the reason why employees are leaving. You're the reason why the job is failing. You're the reason why people are quitting their jobs. You are the problem here. You couldn't pay your employees properly. You couldn't be there on time for your employees. Whenever they needed you, you were never there for them. Whenever they're there for you, you were never there for them in the end, because that's the reality itself. You will never be there for them, and you'll never feel sorry, So thank you. Thank you for ruining 3 years of my life. Thank you for taking away my apron. Thank you for giving me a badge after 2 years of working a job when I should be getting a driving license, getting my shit together, and getting my future together. But all I get was a badge. That's it. A fucking badge. Fucking unbelievable, these people these days, Seriously. You're not a supervisor. You're not a manager. You're nothing but a self-centered, manipulative, careless douchebag. And you're so self-centered, you're so emotionally detached from reality. That's the reality right there. You are so void of reality. But you're like, hey, you ignored me? Hey, you didn't do the training? Hey, you didn't bring your apron to work? You're the reason why people are quitting their jobs, because you made the work environment very hard for us to do our jobs. We've arrived on time for you and helped you out. You were never there for us. So, wherever it is, it's you, because you are the problem here. You were never there for them. You were never going to understand what they've gone through. But you want to change the narrative, change the story, make it all about yourself. But you couldn't be there for them. Seriously. This was the worst 3 years of my life. I'm still at home, trying to get my life together. And I'm having a hard time getting my life together because of this job. And I tried to make some money for myself online for passions. But the job I used to work for that never cared about me, that hasn't been there for me and helped me out, it was never easy. I had a hard time moving on. I've been through a lot for those 3 years of my life. I had to sacrifice clothes. I had to sacrifice groceries. I had to take money on my savings account just to get by. And they still never cared about me. So there's no point. You're able to bring in much profit, but you're not able to pay your own employees properly. What a joke. Seriously. Laura, you're not a great supervisor. Olivia, you're not a great supervisor. Camilla, you're not a great supervisor. Faith, you are the worst manager I've ever worked for. You never cared about me, and that's it. That's all of reality itself. I've done my job. I helped you out. I've been there on time for you, and all you did was use me, and you manipulated me. And I have every right to be angry. I deleted a video before them about me getting angry at them, but it never leaves me. It's people like you that are the issue here. I've done my job. I helped you out and I arrived on time for you. And what do I get? A badge. My apron stolen, my salary going down, more hard time for me to do the things I really love. That's the problem right there. Thing is, I got paid £3,000, 2023, which was an entire year's worth of salary. And through 2024, which you will never care in your entire life, Laura, £1,600. The amount of damage you left behind for me was irreversible. I'll never recover from this. I'll never be able to fully understand why people out there are so mean and careless when I did my job helping people out. That's the issue right there. I've done my job. I helped you out. I've arrived on time for you. You were never there for me. So consider this. Have a great day without me, because I'm never going to come back to this store ever again.